our high-tech pizza cutter from Target.
From Target.
Works out really good. And then we have all these different sizes that we do that are marked. So these are going to be these are strips of 2-inch tiles. So once we get into where we want them to go, we'll take these and we will cut them. And they pop right off. And I just flip it over because it gets to be wet every once in a while. Would you like to try one?
Sure.
So you just line it up with the line here. And once you get the line, then you're going to cut. You don't want to go angles. So then you can just hold it nice and flip it to the other side maybe.
This is the kind of way it has to be.
There we go. We can flip you over there and make it easy.
And then
keep
just
it straight. Yep, nice and straight. It's like you're cutting a pizza. Perfect. And then you just lift up nice and easy, and then flip it again. And line it up with the line. Perfect. There you go. So then when we get to the end, we don't like to waste very many things, so we might have a little smaller one. And then so I'll take this here, borrow the pizza cutter if I could. And so if you don't have a full piece, then this is a good way to get a little extra 2-inch tile here. And then these, they get warpy and your fingers pressed into them, and that warps the clay a little bit. So we'll go along with those pieces.
Right.
And then we'll save them and we'll put them in our, this is a big bakery. So, it's the same sort of process.
It's a big bakery.
It's a big bakery, just not as tasty, but beautiful looking. And so we have all these different pieces. And so
and any of these pieces that aren't sized right, you can use them.
Yep. So these pieces we'll take off, and then we will reuse into this mixer. So this is a extruder, but also a remixing machine. So it allows us to reuse the clay.
Chocolate part of me.
There you go. You want to just taste it. But I don't think your dentist, well, they might love you because they're going to be doing a lot of work for you, or not. So.
Yeah. And these can just.
Yep, so we have two different parts. So once while it's still wet, we can reconstitute it and put it back into clay.
Okay.
And then you'll see the buckets over here. Those are just pieces of dried clay that in the morning, when these are dried up, we'll look at them like this one has a little mark on it. We'll probably get rid of it and go through the process of saying.
And what happens to that?
Then we wet it down, and we put it in here, and it extrudes it back out, and we can reuse it. So we do a lot of recycling here of everything I can possibly come up with. So this is extruder, and so I've already done the de-airing, and so we're just gonna turn it on, and then it's gonna start to come out. It's a lot like a pasta machine. So it just comes right out there, and it's a special machine because it gets rid of all of the air in the clay. And then once it gets to where we want it, we just cut it and pushing them out, and then we got the strips. So we'll put in different sizes, like 2-inch, 4-inch, 6-inch, and then we can make different pieces with those. And we just straighten them out, super high tech, little pieces of wood that we put together. So I'll show you guys the stamping. So once we have some and we get what we want, good to keep things straight. These stamps are all just different parts that we do. So we can put it on here, and we actually use WD-40. It works really well, and it doesn't cause any problems with the...
What does that do?
It makes it so it's non-stick to the actual clay.
Oh, okay.
So, and then we can put it on here, and we got these. I'd never heard of these until one of my assistants. These are sand-driven mallets.
Okay.
And so we just... Nice and easy. And we can take the piece here. Finish it off. And then voila, you have a stamp.
It's there.
I want to show you the buffalo because I love the buffalo. It is absolutely gorgeous. And you just look to see all the different designs she did in here. And then all of the used
mixed materials around.
Mixed media. And yeah, it's absolutely wonderful.
I feel kind of lazy right now. It's like, wow.
I know.
I think she doesn't watch much television. Do you think it's planned? Do you think there's a... Is it planned? Is there a design that this is what she knew was going to be?
Yeah, she's working on a keystone series of animals that are keystone, like beavers and the buffalo and other things, and reusing materials, because we work with a lot of environmental sort of thinking, and so like she's trying to reuse materials and not make new materials. So beyond the polymer clay, And so her brain is just going into these worlds of trying to discover. And so they're big sculptures. And so to take polymer clay from this little thing that people use for jewelry to this is a monumental step.
And what's the installation of this like? Is it?
She has them all hooked up so that
She does?
Yeah, so they're on their latches, and it's a very customized hooking system, but like it's like any other piece of art.
And you take it all apart, and
It's in sections.
It's in sections.
Yep, for
It's
sure.
a sectional.
That's right. So,
These are the coolest,
yeah, exactly.
aren't they?
So these aren't baked yet. So actually, Lyle had left one halfway done, so I finished it. And then I did this one yesterday, just out of bits and pieces that were left under here. We call it the scrap pile.
But to have a series of those in your home would be very cool.
Yeah. I put mine one down in my basement where I have my arts and crafts and kind of
You
my
have
stuff.
to.
Yeah, I know. So
And so we also do what's called the snack and squish. Once a month, we have people come in and we do different themes. So like the first one we did was man versus nature. And so this is what we call man-made sort of clay, and then mine is the nature clay. So that we also had Oreos and Cheetos and carrots and strawberries. So like we had two different fruits, so you get a little snack, and then you get to squish the clay and sort of play with it. So like that's a way for people to sort of, learn about the backstory of what we do and learn different things. And so we had ones on frosting and sprinkles, and so now we're gonna do one on fire. So we'll have the spicy Afghani beef pizza with the fire. So like, we obviously have a little bit of fun with things here and just try to get people engaged with what they don't normally get to see. And I think that's what the whole arts district is about, is like you get to see studios, people making something, they're inventing things, they're small businesses, they're just a whole variety of just amazing humans making things.